Well, you know,
Oh.
Hello, hello. Good morning.
morning.
Nice to see you all. Some people I know and some I don't, which is perfect. So turn on your cameras. Oh, sorry. I need. Okay, I even did vocal warm-ups and I'm still coughing. Hi, Janelle. Nice to see you. Lori Appleby, are you going to be joining us on the camera? Hello, Nadia, Heather.
Working on.
Okay, and Nancy, and another Heather. We have two Heathers, Heather Lou and Heather Chernovsky, and Darby, Dana, Juliana. Juliana is a split personality. You have two people there.
That's my friend
Annie. Anna.
Jenny?
Anna.
Anna, yeah.
Anna.
Sorry, I can't hear. Yana?
Anna.
Anna. Okay, great. Welcome, Anna. And Isabel. Very good. And Tanya, hello. Nice to see you. So what I've learned by doing these workshops, even when it's free, people don't show up. So if you get about 20% of your registrants, you're doing well. So anyway, we're 2 minutes in already, and I do like to start on time. So, okay. So I just had a sign that said your internet is unstable. I upgraded to the fastest, most expensive internet, and it's more unstable now than it was before. So I need to, have another 3-hour phone call with Rogers. Anyway, so if it goes unstable, if I freeze, it's only for a few seconds. Just bear with me and I'll be back. All right. And Debbie is joining us. Great, turn on your camera, Debbie, and we'll be ready to go. So you all have some paper and markers and a big glass of water, I hope. Okay. All right. Hello, Debbie. So let's begin.
Sophia,
Yes.
I only have one black marker. I didn't have time. I thought I had some colors downstairs and I don't have, so I'm gonna
Okay.
just play with one color.
All right. Well, what I said markers because in the first workshop, we discovered that anyone who used pencil crayons, it didn't show up on screen when they tried to show it to me. So if you have other colored pens or whatever, do your best.
Okay.
So markers show up because I do always say, hold it up and then we look at each other's creations. Okay, so if you could all go on mute, because there's always a little bit of background scratching and whatnot. Put yourself on mute and we'll begin. So welcome to Draw a New Reality. I'm really grateful that you showed up and thank you for spending your time with me today. Just to warm up your fingers, why don't you type in the chat where you're from, and if you do any kind of art, whether you're a martial artist or a pastry chef or an architect or a floral designer, and if you're none of those, nothing artistic, that's great too. So I always like to see who's been drawn to come here. I guess the chat takes a little bit to populate here. I'm a film composer. I know Janelle is an amazing composer. All her music is so beautiful. It's unbelievable. And I didn't know you moved to Brighton. Okay. Fluid acrylic, very nice, Isabel. Massage therapist from New Jersey is Debbie. Very good. Transformational healing, Nadia. Nice. Medical massage therapist and an artist from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That's one of the Heathers. And we have, yes, Pastor Darwin. Excellent. Toronto, semi-retired, Stouffville, drummer, percussionist, embroiderer, writer, art medium, dabbler, yoga and meditation teacher. Yes, Tanya, you do it all. Isabel lives in Toronto. Yeah. And who else do we have? Lori, you're in Scarborough. I'm in Scarborough too. Forgiveness coach and energy healer. Created Soul Adventure Game, which is where my art lives in the public space. Very good. Dana's in Ottawa. No art, healing enthusiast. That's great. Well, we all have creativity within us. We're all capable of expressing ourselves artistically. And so I do want to highlight that today, and you'll see it. And that's why I also want you to see each other's drawings as well, just to give you some inspiration and hope and ideas. Okay, terrific. So I don't think anybody's driving, but I just have to say, if you're driving, don't join us. You must be in a non-moving, comfortable, safe space. And you need about 8 sheets of paper. Okay, so keep in mind, whatever you create today is perfect for you. There's no bad art today, okay? We're going to be working with emotions and putting them on paper, so there's no wrong way to do it. You're already a winner today, okay? So be your own best friend, encourage and support yourself, and encourage others as well. Excuse me. Your positive attitude will help make this a friendlier, more fun workshop. And because you are here, what I'm asking is for your feedback after the workshop. And I would like detailed feedback, not just, oh, it was fun, it was great, thanks. That's not feedback. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the name of each exercise. So keep one sheet of paper where you jot down notes for what you liked, what helped you, what shifted your thoughts, what made you feel something unexpected. So I want personal feedback like that. Excuse me. And then on another sheet of paper, you can have formative feedback. Like maybe this didn't make me feel good, or whatever, I was triggered by that. I'm not planning for anyone to be triggered, but just, you never know. I need to know these things, right? And the way this workshop has developed is by getting good feedback from the previous attendees. So we can be grateful to all the people who responded before. And one of those, the piece of feedback that's important right now is to have the cameras on, because people said they felt unsafe when they just saw a black screen and a person's name and they don't know who's back there, and they were hesitant to share because it could be anybody behind there. So I think seeing each other's faces makes it safer, friendlier, and gives people the chance to be more expressive. So that's why, okay? So I would like feedback before midnight tonight, or by midnight tonight, because I want it to be fresh in your minds. So at the top of the page, put down my email address. It's very easy. I'll put it in the chat. It's s@sophiazoe.com. I'll just put it here too. So send me that tonight. s@sophiazoe.com. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Natasha and Patricia. Please turn on your cameras. Okay, now the people who email me their feedback by midnight tonight get a special gift. All right. You'll get a gift. I'll probably email it to you on Monday. Okay. And it's very valuable. So here's my brief related story to all this. I had excessive insomnia for over 4 years. I'd be so tired. My internet was unstable. Okay. I'd be so tired. I was on the verge of tears, yet I couldn't fall asleep. I tried all the typical things, and each new thing I tried helped me for 1 or 2 nights, and then it was back to sleeplessness. So one day I was reading that I should calm down my nervous system before trying to go to bed. And so I thought I'd do something creative and relaxing, like coloring. So I had a sketch pad and some markers right there beside me, so I began to doodle. I can't draw anything real. Excuse me, I have zero artistic talent, but somehow the doodling helped me. And I found I loved putting color on paper. It was relaxing and it made me happy. So fast forward, I can now sleep if I follow my new nighttime routine. And I can sleep between 5 to 9 hours in a row, like without interruption. Because before that, it was like between 0 and 90 minutes a night. I was going insane. But long before insomnia, I had been exploring the world of natural medicine and energy healing since I was 15 years old. I first learned about herbs, nutrition, and energy from a German herbalist I used to see. But I didn't know I could become a healer. I went to McMaster University and got 2 degrees, one in music as a piano major and one in drama. I taught piano for 30 years. I also acted on stage and film. And after graduating, I spent 4 years studying all kinds of healing methods at a wellness center. I had my first paying healing client in 1995. And then a few years before that, while I was practicing. So I've been doing healing for a long time. Oh, excuse me. When I moved back to Toronto from Hamilton, where I went to McMaster, just for fun, I went through the conservatory program at the Second City Training Center, which is the famous improv school. So it's like I got a degree in comedy after all that other training. So therefore, I am fully qualified to teach this workshop on healing through art. This is where I say I'm not a licensed healthcare practitioner. I'm not a clinical psychologist or medical doctor, although I have been trained by many of them. So you are responsible for how you feel throughout this session. Please do what you need to do to take care of yourself. This workshop is for information and entertainment purposes only. So on with the show. I'm going to share with you what has helped me and my clients in terms of clearing stuck energy, emotional blocks, stress, frustration, physical issues, stagnant creativity, and more. I've studied over 25 healing methods over decades, so I have many tools to help with many issues. I almost died in a car accident in 2005. I healed myself from the 85 injuries and dysfunctions that resulted. So if you have physical, emotional, or spiritual problems, I completely empathize, and I have strategies to help you. Okay. So in Canada, only certified licensed practitioners can say they do any kind of therapy. And I chose not to become certified because of all the legal restrictions that came with it. So I cannot use the term art therapy, which is what we're doing. So I'm going to say healing through art, okay? Just to be legal, in case there's somebody here from Health Canada. All right, now focus on yourself and bring to mind the 2 top reasons that brought you here today. What problems do you hope to get help with? And rate them in intensity from 1 to 10. So 1 is it's hardly there, and 10 is this is a really, really big problem. And write that down. So you could write, neck pain, 6 out of 10, for instance. And write it on your paper, but please also write it in the chat, just so I know what I'm dealing with. You don't have to go into detail, just the issue and the number.
Can you repeat that? You were cutting out a bit and I'm not quite sure what you're looking for. Thanks.
Okay. Natasha, Patricia, and Patricia, please turn on your camera. Yeah, okay, so what I want you to do is think of the 2 reasons that brought you here today, if they're physical problems or stress or something, and give it a rating from 1 to 10. So 10 is it's really, really bad. It's very high. We've got trapped emotions. So Nadia wrote embodiment and presence. So how disembodied do you feel? How not present do you feel? Can you just write in the numbers? Okay, Patricia's trying to get on her tablet. Okay. Natasha, can you turn on your camera? Love of creativity. Desire to learn self-care. Okay, great. Seeking an avenue for creative expression. Excellent. Okay, Natasha's getting set up. Okay. Fear and blocks to expressing my true self. How big a problem is that? What's the number of those, Dana? Relaxation 7 out of 10. So that means 7 out of 10 is you're unrelaxed 70% of the time. That's how you've written it. Wanting to have fun. 10. Okay. All right. You guys aren't understanding the scale. So wanting to have fun, 10, that means you 100% of the time are never having fun. So the stated as a problem and how intense that problem is. So if the problem is not enough fun, 10, that means you never have fun. Okay. Maybe it's too early for some creative people to process information like this. I want to get my creative juices going. Okay. Okay, great. And somebody suggested I drop my background. I don't think that's it. So anyway, if I cut out, it'll only be for a few seconds. Excellent. Okay. So grab a fresh sheet of paper and spread your fingers wide. And I want you to trace your hand with your pen or marker. Go slowly. Do it mindfully and lovingly.
I'm sorry, you cut out again. What are we doing? I know, spread my fingers wide, got the paper.
Yeah,
then
and
the
trace
rest.
your hand. Trace your hand.
Trace your hand. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
Thank you.
do it slowly and mindfully and lovingly. Okay, so take a minute. You can do your other hand later or another time. Now take a minute to acknowledge your hands. They do everything. They do so much. And have a look at them. Are your hands the exact same size? Probably not. Are all the fingers exact mirror images of the other hand? It's probably close. Do you take good care of your hands? And if not, why not? What if self-care began with caring for your hands? Could you do that? Can you make a commitment to take care of them now, take better care of them? Decide now when you will do that. I make it a part of my bedtime routine. Nice massage with lotion and a drop of lavender oil.
Sophia, you're cutting out.
Oh,
It's impossible to hear. Can you?
oh, I'm so
I don't know if
sorry.
you can hear me, but you're frozen again.
The thing is, I can always hear you. It doesn't freeze on your end. And it seems like after I've frozen, I see a little banner that says your internet is unstable. Um, okay, well, maybe I will I'll remove my banner, which means you're just going to see, an ugly green screen. Maybe that will help. I'm not sure, but there you go. It's a green screen behind me. So maybe that will help. Okay, so what I was saying was decide to make a plan of self-care for your hands. So what I do is every night I do a massage with lotion and a drop of lavender oil. And so that's also part of relaxing before bed. So just be aware of your hands. I know that self-care was a New Year's resolution for a lot of my friends and colleagues. So start with your hands. Make that the last thing you do before you tuck yourself in at night. And of course, now we're going to give our hands the task of drawing. So just a little loving energy to your hands. And now color in one of your hands any way you wish. Use solid colors or different patterns on each finger, whatever you like. I'll give you 3 minutes. Okay. Wrap it up. And then hold up your picture so we can all see. Oh, very nice, Heather. Yeah, hold it right up against the camera. And Tanya, did you put dots? It's hard to tell. Yes, I see something. Oh, pretty. Very pretty. Look at that. Is that amazing? Everyone has such different ideas. Excellent. Masterpieces, all of them. So you can do that with your other hand on another day when you need to just relax and tune into yourself. Okay, very good. And Pat says this is a fun, she's having fun already. Very good. Okay. So do you have any thoughts or feelings that came up when you did that? Would somebody like to share? Okay, Tanya Porter, you can unmute yourself and tell us how that was for you.
Yes. Aside from it being, yes, lots of fun, because I teach meditation and recently I've been teaching a lot about mudra, all different kinds of hand seals, and
Yeah.
each of the different fingers represents a different element. And I was trying to do that with the tiny little dots, all with the thumb with the fire energy. And so it just brought that forward for me, this idea of the power of our hands to connect with the elements in our bodies.
Very good. Thank you. Anyone else? Did anyone feel anything unexpected?
So mine was, the first thing that came to mind was my hands were healing hands. So the little circles all around was like the energy that goes through me and heals people. And it felt like, when I was doing it, it felt like healing was coming through my own body.
Oh, excellent. How appropriate for a pastor. Very good. Excellent. And Nadia says, appreciation for my hand. Yep, that was the point. Very good. Okay. Anyone else have a burning desire to share? No burning desires. All right. Then we'll move on. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about trauma. A trauma is any event that made you feel bad. So what happens to you when something bad happens to you? That's the trauma. If you fall and sprain your ankle, you obviously have an injury. So that's a physical trauma. And modern medicine says it will take up to 6 weeks for that sprain to heal. So if the swelling, the bruising, and the pain and instability lasts beyond 6 weeks, then there's probably an emotional component that didn't heal with, rest, elevation, and ice. So that emotional trauma is not visible, but it's so strong, it's overriding the laws of the physical world. In other words, the ankle hasn't healed when it should have. So it's really important to heal emotional trauma related to physical traumas. And if you don't, you could keep yourself sick, unhealed. Does that make sense? Okay, so the first exercise was called tracing hands. And this next exercise is called doodle your feeling. So think of a physical trauma you had that did not heal as expected. It didn't suit the timeline. Maybe you fell off your bike, you broke a bone, you had surgery. So remember what you felt immediately after it happened. Choose the strongest emotion. Could have been fear, anger, embarrassment, disappointment. So the biggest, strongest emotion, rate that now from 1 to 10. So 10 was, it was really big and bad. And would you say that emotion is still trapped in your body? Is it at the place of injury or a different place? So pick a marker that could represent that feeling. So pick the color that would represent that bad feeling. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to doodle about that feeling. Just place the marker on the
We
paper.
didn't hear what kind of marker.
You cut out again there.
Okay, sorry.
You said pick a marker or something. and
Yeah,
that-
grab a marker that represents that feeling and just start doodling. Just let the marker go where it wants to go. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, in just a few more seconds. Okay, and if you're done, hold up your drawing. Oh, fiery red. Look at that. So many in red. Keep holding them up. Let's see them all. Isn't that interesting? Strong strokes. Lots of red, some black. Darby, Chanel, can you hold it closer to the camera? Oh, yeah, look at that. Angles. Okay, does anyone want to explain their picture? Share what's going on?
I will.
Okay, Lori,
How much you can see it.
put it closer to the
Yeah,
camera.
you're not gonna see it all, but
Yeah.
so what came up was when I was maybe 10. I was at my grandmother's and I was riding my bike down this big hill, and I wiped out, and I was all by myself, and I wiped out really bad and skinned my whole side of my body and my elbow. Like I had a huge scrape. Like I couldn't bend my
Yeah.
arm because the scrape, would break. So it was just really traumatic because I was alone.
Mhm.
And there was no cell phones back then, and I was really hurt. And I was only a couple streets over from where she lived up in Lindsay. And I guess someone found me and brought me over. I don't really remember. I just remember feeling really alone and afraid. And I was having so much fun. And then all of a sudden, I just toppled over. So it was traumatic. And then they brought us back to the exhibition because we had to take the bus down, and then St. John's ambulance fixed me up. But then I had all these little white pieces of the bandage stuck in my scrap. So I remember my mom had to pick them all out one by one. So that was
Okay.
like more torture on top of the trauma.
So the picture is the
Whatever
hill?
they didn't do it very well. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Isn't that interesting?
Thanks for
From
listening.
age 10, it's, it was brought up again. Okay, who else would like to share? Hi, Natasha, nice to see you. Thanks for coming on camera. Okay, who would like to share? Anyone? Okay, Isabel?
Okay, so this is, I have a tendency of tripping and falling forever. And the last time it happened was maybe 8 months ago. And there's a feeling of confusion, okay, and difficulty of getting up, and then anger of being such a klutz. So this is the confusion part, and this is the anger part of myself of tripping so often.
I think you've captured that very well. Okay, thank you. I used to trip and fall all the time. In high school and university, I've sprained each ankle at least 12 times. And I finally, this is when I first started going for healing, and I had somebody working on me, and he said, there's no connection between your upper half and your lower half. Your body isn't integrated. And I thought that makes perfect sense, because every time I'd fall, like I'd go from standing to, spilled everywhere. I'd look to see what I tripped on, and it was usually a really big rock, like this, like the size of a golf ball. And I had not felt it under my foot. So I definitely was not connected. Ever since he worked on me, I haven't fallen since. So Isabel, you might want to come in for some energy healing to integrate you, or I could do it over the phone or Zoom. You don't even have to come in. But it was just really remarkable what a big difference it made, because I was always going down. Anyway, okay, anyone else want to share? I'm just fascinated that it's red. Everybody has red and black. So there's some universal ideas about the colors that are related to trauma. Okay, I know I paused for a minute there. Okay, Nancy, I think you wanted to share. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
You're fine.
So this is an incident where I fell on some very uneven sloping downward ground, and it was just past dusk, and I sort of went over on my ankle, and then I could feel myself kind of going down on my shoulder. So it was my shoulder, my neck that hit the ground. And it was it was incredibly painful in the ensuing hours because it was 10 o'clock at night, so it was really too late. We were in a small community camping. It was too late to go to have it looked at. But the interesting thing is, so my recollection and the emotion that I thought I was capturing was pain. And yet I reached for red right away. And I found with the different parts, especially the red and the black, where I was depicting it, I had very like sort of blunt, short strokes. And I thought, there's anger there. And so it's made me very curious as to, and this was a situation where there was definitely an emotional, like there was an emotional component as well as the physical, but fascinating, because what I'd sort of, was thinking of was the pain that I felt, but that's actually not what came out on paper, like when I connected to paper. So that's quite insightful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, this has happened before. Yeah, this is why, doing something is way more helpful than just reading about it. Right? You could have just listened to that and not participated. You wouldn't have gotten that insight. So, like you can't learn how to swim reading a book, right? Okay, Debbie, your turn. Unmute yourself.
Okay. I did mine in purple, and I had sprained my ankle, and I'm a volleyball player, and I was doing really well at the time, and I was happy with my playing. And then somebody else came under the net, and I stepped on their foot. And my words that were coming up were disappointment and despair, and feeling like it was never ending. Like every time I got to a point where I was going to succeed, I'm like even feeling it now. Like something else would get in the way and keep me from succeeding.
Okay. So hands on your heart. We can all do this. Be a surrogate for Debbie. Hands over your heart. Breathe into your belly. And I want you to just see a clear ball of energy over your head. It's just shimmering. It's just perfectly clear. It's pure energy. And let that ball descend through your body. Just breathe it into you. Let it go slowly through your whole body. So the energy is a little bit wider than your body is. All the way down. And as it goes through you, it just picks up any of the charge from this experience. And it just goes down into the floor. And if there's a level beneath you, the energy goes through that level, through the basement, into the ground. How do you feel now?
Better. Wow. I feel more grounded.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
You're welcome. You can use your intuition. You can call in whatever color you need. Every color has its own vibration. I just intuitively thought you need pure energy, so that's why I made it clear. But a lot of people use white or gold or silver. Those are very good healing colors, as well as green and blue. Occasionally I use a peach color or a turquoise. So whatever you think, and often you need more than one color. So it might start clear all the way through your head and neck, and then suddenly you want blue, and then you want purple. Oh, gosh. I'm so sorry about
I was kind of confused as to why I picked purple. Like everybody else was picking red for their anger. And at the time, I think I was really angry. And I couldn't figure out like why purple for my drawing.
Well, purple is more of a spiritual color. And I think because the effects are still there for you, it's affected your spirit. So it doesn't matter. It's still a dark color. It kind of fits. You don't have to fit
Right.
into what everybody else chose. And Lori says purple transmutes. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Darby. Darby, you have your hand up. Would you like to share? Unmute yourself. Okay, Darby, you're muted, so you have to unmute. The bottom left of
I
your
hope you
screen.
can see this. What,
Yeah, I see
can you
up
see
and
it?
down zigzags. Yeah.
Okay. So what this represents is being hit in 2 car accidents.
Mm,
The first one, in the first accident, my daughter and I were in the car and we were T-boned on her side. And
mhm.
so the top part represents, I think, shock.
Ah,
Um, and the reaction was making sure my daughter was okay.
right.
And then when you look at the bottom part where you see the green going through,
Mhm.
when my daughter said, "I'm fine, Mom, I'm fine," I had the thought to go check on the people who hit me.
Mm,
And I went over to check on them, and they were in a fetal position in the back seat of the car,
oh,
totally traumatized.
mm,
So the green represented, I think, the feeling that I had that I was serving them and helping them to get better, because they did. They actually came out of all of that, and then the ambulance came. And then the waves of the red is still like, I must have still been in shock.
yes.
So, I'm not sure in terms of feeling. I think I was in shock. I just
Yeah.
was reacting or responding to the situations.
Yeah, shock is a
Yeah.
really big feeling. Yeah. Okay, thank you. It's very depictive of what you felt. Okay, so you can do this anytime. If you are feeling the angst of something, put it on paper, get it out of your body and put it on paper. There's other ways to get out of your body too, like movement, dancing. Tanya does the drumming circles. So you can sing or scream. I found I had a job. Oh my God. I became tech support for a satellite TV company, which is not my genius, not my spiritual calling. It was just like a survival job for a few months. But I hated it so much that I discovered when I was standing on the subway platform on my way home, while the train was rushing into the station, it's such a loud sound. So one day I screamed while it was doing that. I just had to release tension. And I did it. And then I looked beside me, and the people beside me weren't looking at me. They hadn't heard me. So then every night coming home from work, I would scream. And it was just like, oh, okay. So that was like also it was like my gateway into my real life. Then I'd go home and be me. Didn't have to be tech support for satellite TV. Okay, so find a way to have a little coping mechanism. But the doodling your emotions is one way. Okay. Thank you very much for sharing. That was very interesting. Okay. So exercise number 3, I call body doodles. And this is the first part, healing swirls. Okay, I'll show you how to do it. You have to stick your arms straight out. So you might have to move back from your computer a bit. So stick your arms straight out and imagine at the tip of your middle finger is a little X. And you're just going to trace that X. So you're doing figure 8 symbols, but really small. Arms straight out. Okay, do it with me. Arms straight out. And then just slowly rotate your wrist so that the figure 8 is a little bit bigger. And a little bit bigger. It's actually better if you do it standing up. Try just one hand for now, so you can really focus. So just go a little bit bigger. So you're making a long number 8 on its side. Okay, so move from the shoulder and go a little bit bigger. So then make the loops wider than your hips. Really use your arm. So if you're standing and you do it really big, it can be kind of like a dance. And you get some hip rotation in there. I'm just sitting in front of the camera right now. I'm not going to get up, but I do this standing up as a physical warm-up. Okay, so you would do this for as long as you can, as long as you want, and then you bring it in again and make the loops smaller. A little smaller. So you're still focusing on the tip of your middle finger, tracing that X always. And then when you're done, or when your arm is tired, you can stop. Now, if you look at yourself in the monitor, you may notice that that shoulder, that arm is now lower than the other one. And your arm will feel heavy and relaxed. Yeah, okay, and we have to make it even. So now let's do the other hand. So start with the focus on the tip of your middle finger and do little X's, little figure 8s. And get a little bit bigger. So you're drawing in the air. Now, if you follow your middle finger with your eyes, this is good for you. I'll explain what that does in a minute. Let's just focus on making the loops bigger. Keep your arms straight. You're all doing great. And bigger, wider than your body. So you're expanding to the full extension of your arm on each side. And now we know what Janelle feels like when she's conducting, right? Lots of arm movements. Okay. I took a conducting class in university. It is so damn hard conducting. Okay, make it smaller and smaller until it's just a tiny little X in front of you. And relax. And so now your shoulders should be even. Just to make sure, put your shoulders up towards your ears and hold, and drop. And do it again. Up and hold, and drop. And once more. Hold, and drop. And you might want to roll your shoulders back or forward. So some of you were ahead of me. Some of you were doing both hands. You can certainly do that. It's a good warm-up for anything. Just a good way to start the day. All right. So too many of us hold tension, right? So releasing tension is really important. So when I said to follow it with your eyes, what that's doing is it's making your energy cross your midline. So your midline would be like a line down the middle of your body. So anytime you are crossing your midline, you're encouraging your energy to flow correctly. So you've all probably seen the picture of the DNA helix, like our DNA circles around each other like that. That's how energy comes into our bodies. So it comes in from the cosmos and it starts winding through us like this. And that is correct. And it goes all the way down. So it's continuous. In the world of therapeutic touch, we say that we are an open energy system because that means energy just flows through us. Okay, we don't start at the top of our heads. We start way above. Okay, so if your energy is not flowing in a cross pattern, that means it's just flowing like there's a left side and a right side, which is called homolateral. And if it's flowing like that, you don't have connection from your left to right, and that's when you're going to trip. That's when you're going to fall. It's when you're going to stutter. That's when you're going to say the exact opposite of what you meant to say. And you can't remember things. Like you won't be able to remember a simple word like plate or clock, you know. So if you're finding that's happening, you're tripping, you're dropping things, stuttering, So do the body doodles, the figure eights. And if you're not in a place where you can do that, if you're sitting in a crowded bus or something, you can do it with your eyes. So let's practice that now. So you can either keep your eyes open or shut. You can experiment. So look straight ahead and then make a loop with your eyes. Go slowly, because those eye muscles are really tiny and they can get strained. So just slowly make figure eights. So I usually do about 5 one way, and then I go to the center again, and then I go the opposite direction. So that's also a way to encourage your energy flowing correctly. Okay, some people get a little dizzy when they do this. If that's the case, either go very slowly or skip it. You can do it other ways. Okay, anybody feeling weird? We're all good? Okay, good. Okay, here's another way to do it quietly and people not noticing. So you can like give yourself a hug and just do like a butterfly tap, wings of a butterfly beating, just slowly. So you're encouraging the energy to go left and right. Yes, it is like brain gym. Yeah. And sometimes, go with your intuition. Sometimes you might need it quickly. Right now, I feel like I need it at a slow pace. That's one way to do it. If you're in a business meeting or something, or dinner with the new in-laws, and you're getting stressed or anxious, you can do it under the table on your legs. So just cross your arms. So your right hand is on your left thigh. Your left hand is on your right thigh, and tap on your legs. You can do that too. So I would do it for at least 1 minute. You'll know when you feel better. And do this often throughout the day. It's just a good reminder for your energy to flow correctly. Okay. Is that making anybody feel strange? No? Everybody feels good? Okay, great. So that's, there's lots of little things you can do to help yourself in times of stress or anxiety. Okay, so now we're going to do the second part of body doodles, healing swirls. So this is a way to calm your heart rate and bring in good feelings. And who doesn't want that? Okay, so what you do is, somebody just said they feel better than they did before. Excellent. Okay, so healing swirls, I'm just going to do it on my hand so you can see, but it's better if you do it on your arm or your leg. So you take 2 or 3 fingers and you just land somewhere and you call that 6 o'clock. Okay, if there was a clock here, this is 6 o'clock. And then you go counterclockwise. So then you go to 5. So you go all the way around counterclockwise and a quarter more. So you start at 6 o'clock and go all the way around the clock and then stop at 3. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So got it? It's a circle and a bit more. It's a swirl. So when I can't fall asleep, so this is part of what helped me with insomnia, I would do it like as I'm lying down, I would do it on my face. So the circle should be small, like no bigger than a $1 coin. So I just go counterclockwise, and then you move a little bit. You don't do it over and over on the same spot. You just move a tiny bit and do it again. So I also, I clench my teeth when I sleep. So if I do this before I sleep, I clench less. Okay. See? It's a conditioned response now. It makes me fall asleep right away. So do it over an area of injury. So if you still remember, like, the traumatic, if you have the traumatic injury, say around your knee, I would go all the way around the knee doing it. But you can also do this just very quietly if you're sitting with somebody who's making you tense. So, you can just, it just looks like you have a little bit of a fidget, but it's just very small circles. Oh. See, it really knocks me out. Now, it didn't have that effect on me immediately. Sorry. I had to do this every night for at least a month. until it really kicked in for me. And now it works very well to help me fall asleep. Okay, so if you're lying on your side, you can do it on your thigh. If you lie on your back, do it on your belly, on your chest, wherever you want. And if you have an injury, do that too. So here's the thing, counterclockwise, it will relax and release. Okay, it'll release tension, it'll release pain, it'll relax you. If you need to strengthen an area, you go clockwise. So you start at 6 and then go to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. Okay, so strengthening is clockwise. So if your knee has now healed, but it's still a little unstable, I would start strengthening it with the clockwise movement. This works really well for babies and for animals. In fact, it's a technique used for animals. It was developed for horses, but it works on people as well. So you can experiment with how much pressure you put on yourself. You might like it very light. You might need it more like a massage. It depends. And then if you're doing it on an animal, the size of the animal will tell you how hard to press. You know, if you have a horse, you go harder. If you have a budgie, it's really light, right? And for children as well, ask them how they like it. And it's very calming. So counterclockwise is calming, clockwise is strengthening. And with the strength, it'll also give you courage. So you could do that, you know, before a speech or a special interview or something, strengthen yourself, do a clockwise swirl. Did anyone feel anything doing it? Like I honestly felt nothing for a while, but I believed in it, so I did it. Okay. Any questions about that? All right. Tanya,
Question.
Yes.
If you have anxiety, where would you do the swirl?
Wherever you want intuitively. I would, like wherever you feel the anxiety. Usually it'll be the heart or the solar plexus, usually. So you can just do it over your chest. But it doesn't matter. Especially if you don't want to be seen, you can put your hand under the table and just do it under your hand. On your hand, I mean. And so the important thing is don't just do the same spot over and over. So just, you know, you do it and then you just slide a bit, just a few millimeters away. So you're always starting in a different spot. That's all. Yeah. Okay. This is the first time people haven't said, which way is counterclockwise? I don't understand. Yay, you're the smartest class so far. Aha, very nice. You know your clocks. Okay. Okay, so this is now, 1 second. Okay, exercise number 5 is happy story. I'm going to tell you a happy story. It's just a brief time of when something good happened to me. And as you listen, I want you to start doodling the emotions in the story. Okay, don't illustrate my story. So if I'm talking about being on an airplane, don't draw an airplane. Okay, so you're going to tune into the emotions. You're the smart class, you get it. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to choose something different. Let me see. Okay, grade 2. Grade 2, I was 7 years old, and the school had a fundraiser. We were selling Laura Secord lollipops. So for those of you not in Canada, Laura Secord is a confectionery company. They make mostly chocolates and now ice cream and candies as well. And so these were these big rectangular lollipops. They were way too much sugar for anybody. But anyway, we were selling those. And of course, the person who sold the most was going to get a lollipop that was, I think, 5 pounds, like something ridiculous. And, of course, all the kids wanted to win it. So my mother bought one lollipop for me, and I opened it in my desk, and I was taking licks while the teacher was up at the board. And then she said, Sophia. And I thought, oh my God, oh no, oh no, oh no, I'm in trouble. She saw me. Oh no, oh no. I was completely, I was so scared. She said, Sophia, you have to go down to the vice principal's office. Mr. B.A. would like to see you. That was his name, Mr. B.A. And Mr. B.A. was like 6.5 feet tall. He was ginormous for me, who was 7, you know. And so I went down the very long hallway and down the stairs and down the hallway again to his office. And he said, young lady, are you Sophia? And I said, yes, yes. He said, well, you come in here. And I went into his office and I sat down, and he pulled out a folder and he said, did you write this story? And it was an assignment we had where we had to write a story on a big piece of paper. We had to fold the paper. On one side was a picture, and the other side we wrote our story. And I said, yes, that's my story. And he said, this is the best story I ever read, and I wanted to meet you. That's why I had your teacher come and tell you to come down to see me. And you can't imagine like the flush of hormones that went through me. Like the relief was just astonishing. And my story had been about a man with a yellow hat and his pet monkey. And I realize now, obviously influenced by Curious George, but it was a unique story. I don't even remember it, but anyway, it was the happiest surprise I ever had. So I was not caught for sucking the lollipop. And I did not win the big lollipop either, which is a good thing, I'm sure. Okay. So I'll let you finish your drawing. And if you're finished, hold it up. Let's see what people picked up from that. I know it didn't start happy, so I'm curious to see what we got here. Tanya, what do I see here? Seems like smiley faces and some emotions in the solar plexus. That's what I'm seeing. Natasha, I can't see yours. Can you tilt it towards the camera more? It's too faint or too far away. I don't know. Dana, a big starburst. Yes, very nice. Heather, oh, that's interesting. Oh, Heather, that's your hand, or is that the picture you drew for this? See your hand. Darby, swirls, green and yellow. Very good. Oh, got a target, like a bullseye from Lori. Okay, Heather. Mountain and trees and sunshine. Yeah, it felt like I went up a mountain and then saw the light. Yes. Okay, Debbie, can you just hold it closer? See flowers, I think. Yes, flowers, very pretty little flowers. And Pat, Pat, it's kind of far away. You're actually not fully in the screen. I see a happy face. Yeah, I definitely felt happy. Okay. All right. So that was me speaking out loud, telling the story. What I'm going to do now is silently transmit a story to you. Totally different. This is just to show you how intuitive you all are. Okay, so get a fresh piece of paper. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, a 2-minute story approximately. So you can look at me if it helps you connect, or you can just tune in energetically. Okay, here I go. Okay, I'm finished my story. I love this part. Okay, let me see your pictures. What did you get? What did you draw? Oh, green swirls and flowers and sun. Let me see yours again, Isabel. I didn't see it. Wasn't held up long enough. Keep holding them up. A house, yellow bicycle. Isabel, I can't see it. Oh, sorry. Diamonds, swirls, waves and peaks. And Janelle, that's a pretty like a mandala design there. The start of a mandala. Okay. Well, oh, a choo-choo train, Lori, a steam engine or whatever. Okay. Well, let me see, Nadia. Hold it closer. Nadia, I'm wondering if your camera, if you need to wipe it. Sometimes we have our fingerprints on it because you're cloudy overall. Yeah, and Darby got swirls and green. So a lot of you had green, right? A lot of you had green. Hold them up again. Yeah, greens and yellows and blues. So, happier colors than just black. Okay, so now I'm going to tell the story out loud, and I want you to add to your picture. Again, you're adding the emotions that you're getting from me. So here's how it went. We lived near a department store. It was a small department store called Metropolitan on Danforth in Toronto. Anyway, it was time for me to get sneakers, new running shoes. And so we went, and I saw a gray pair. It was a gray canvas sneakers, but there was like a sticker of Bugs Bunny on them at the ankle, on the outside and the inside. And I was like, Mommy, I need these. I need these. I need these running shoes. I'm going to be able to run so fast with them. Oh my gosh, so fast. Okay, so she agreed. I don't remember what they cost. And so anytime we went to Metropolitan, it also had a lunch counter. So my mother would buy us French fries. So we had our French fries, and then we paid for the shoes and walked home, and I put them on, and I spent the entire evening running up and down the block. And each time I passed our house, my parents were sitting on the veranda and say, look how fast I'm going. Oh my gosh, look how fast I'm going. I'm so fast because of these shoes. It's Bugs Bunny. And we went, I exhausted myself. I was fully believing that the shoes made me run faster. They had no arch support or, cushioning or anything. They were just flat sneakers. And then my father said, well, why don't you run over to the store and buy me some cigarettes? And we had a corner store, like a variety store around the corner. And so he gave me $1. And with $1, I could get him a large Rothman's cigarettes. And then because that was 90 cents. And with the dime, my sister and I could get 2 5-cent bags of chips. So that was, that's what we did. That's back when they let little kids buy cigarettes. So I ran to the store and got our treats and came back and finally sat on the veranda to eat them. And yeah, I never won any races or anything, but I was convinced I had these, running abilities because of the Bugs Bunny shoes. So, all right. Let's see your pictures now. The steam engine with a bunny. Excellent. Okay. Happiness. Oh, the house running up and down. Janelle, what did you add? I can't tell. The heart, little heart.
I tried adding color, but to be honest, I'm feeling my markers are a little limiting. So
Okay.
hence why I went with black originally.
I see. I
Kind
understand.
of like all the smoke.
Yeah. Right. And we've got more energy there, Natasha and Pat. Seems like you added more energy. Excellent. And Dana, I see diamonds. Is that you? You added diamonds? Uh-huh, very nice. Hold them up once more. I have you all on screen, but you know, it's hard to go to everybody all at once. And Heather, what did you add? Blue energy? Smiley faces. Yeah. So you definitely all got the energy part. You know, the person who drew a bicycle, I think that represents the speed that I was feeling, and the train, the speed as well. Yeah. So very good. Thank you. Okay. I felt you were traveling, said Lori. Ah, well, I was, yes, like a crazy person up and down the street. Yeah. You know how kids can be annoying. I'm sure it was very annoying to my parents as I whizzed by and said, look at me, look at me. So waves of energy, yes. Okay. All right, so this is my lesson in also telling you, like, you can't ever get away with a lie. You know, if you think you're lying, somebody's reading your energy accurately. So don't lie, be honest. But if somebody's telling you a story and they look convincing, but you're feeling otherwise, go with what you're feeling. You know, trust yourself always. Okay. Any questions or ideas? Comments? You're good? Okay. Let us move on. Okay, so that was the first one was called Happy Story, and the second one was called Silent Story for feedback. I'll give you a minute to write some things down.
So I just wanted to say that the swirly stuff in this was when you actually told us the story, it's like I could feel all of that excitement. So I used orange, but I didn't realize that's why I was using orange.
There you
And
go.
then the green was the building, and the build represented a positive experience that you were having.
Mhm.
So when you say, when people are talking to us and they're lying, that our feeling, we need to go with our feeling more
Yeah.
than what we are seeing and hearing maybe. This is just like really reinforcing that for me, because I often am feeling something that is so different from what's in front of me.
Mm. Yeah, go with your gut. When you're talking with somebody, especially if you're face to face, your chakras are interacting. So you know about the chakra system? They're energy centers just in front of your body and through your body. So your energy centers are interacting. So if you're feeling something's off, go with that, because that's the true information. The words are nothing. They say vocally we only express ourselves 7%. The rest is all body language and energy. So people can say anything. Go with how you're feeling. Yeah.
So that, does that also, because I feel like I pick up other people's energy.
Yeah.
So
that's a
yeah,
blessing
okay.
and a curse.
Yes.
Yeah. To be empathetic is often more problematic than it's worth. You know, picking up others' energy. So if you feel something and you don't think it's yours, you can just say, I only want to feel what's mine. Just give yourself that message. Clear away everything that isn't mine. And that can include pain and illness. You can catch things energetically. So in your ministry, you're dealing with a lot of people. And I don't know if you do anything like counseling or taking confession or anything like that, but you're going to be exposed to a lot. So the best thing to do is ask for protection. Ask the Holy Spirit for protection, which usually is white light. So put yourself in a big balloon of white light. And what I do also is outside of that white light, a sheet of pink light. So before performing, when I was performing on stage, I would imagine that I was in white light on stage, and then there was this big screen of pink light, so I'd only get love from the audience. Okay. And I use that as protection. And sometimes I would even put up screen meshing, like you have on your windows. I'd put up a screen and say, only let the good filter in, and let the screen filter out all the negative. So that I found helpful too. Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
don't want to take home other people's stuff. It's just going to be burdensome. All right. I see you're taking notes. But we're going to move on. So now that we've done a few exercises in drawing and mindfulness, I want you to tune into your body and your thoughts. So recall what you said your top 2 problems were, the reasons you came here, and now reassess them from 1 to 10. Do you still have the same problems, and are they at the same intensity as the start? If they're the same, I want you to put in the chat, same. If the intensity has gone down, put lower. And if the original problems are gone, write gone. Same and lower. Lower, lower, lower. 8 down to 6, gone, very good, gone, lower. Okay. So aside from the one bit of like the traumatic injury we worked on, we didn't specifically work on anybody's top 2 problems. So I'm hoping you realize that you don't even have to focus on your trauma. You can just find creative ways to express yourself and things go. But the fact that I made you bring it to mind is what set your subconscious working. So it started to remember the traumatic events or the stress you're dealing with. And then we detached from that and focused on the exercises, and then your issues were lowered or they were gone. Does anyone else have any ideas about how this happened for them, or why, or how this could be used in the future? Yes, Tanya, you can unmute yourself.
Well, I know personally my creativity has saved my butt for my whole life, whichever medium that I use my creativity, because being creative brings me into a place of choosing and engaging. And it's that using that part of my brain rather than the reactive, those old impressions, the spinning of, the lower mind, the fight, flight, freeze part of the brain. The creative side brings me into the present, and it moves me forward into whatever I'd like to create and vision. So, I was so excited to do this, and I absolutely feel all those things from participating. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. That was so well put. That was so well put. Yes, being creative brings you into the present. That's it exactly. So you're not stuck ruminating about the past, and you're constantly moving forward. So if you're doing a drawing, you may not know what your next stroke or color will be, but you are moving forward in that creative process. Or if you're decorating a cake, you're moving forward through that process to completion. And a new phrase that I've adopted is completion is happiness. So, you know, when you finish a project, a task, a chore, that's what gives you happiness. If you're half done a whole bunch of them, that is so stressful. So pick a thing and finish it. Just carry it out all the way through. All right. Yes. Okay. Done, not perfect. Yes, that's right. Things don't have to be perfect. What is, you know, whose evaluation of perfection are you going for? Okay. Does anyone else want to share? Darby, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, it's maybe a little bit more of a question and a paraphrase to make sure I understand, because I want to use this stuff with my daughter. So if I understand it, we don't have to focus in on the trauma, because for her, she doesn't even know that the trauma is there.
Okay.
What I think I'm understanding is moving into the creative process will automatically place our unconscious mind into a space that if there is tension or trauma or any of that there, it will surface through the creative process
If
and
it's
be
ready to be
released. Is that
released. Yeah, if it's ready to be released, yes.
okay?
But also just, so remind me, your daughter has some mental faculty issues?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
and
so,
cerebral palsy.
okay, yeah, so don't even go to the trauma part. Just find creative ways for her to occupy herself, and that'll put her in the present. So the subconscious will release things as it sees fit. The subconscious is your entire body, in case people don't know. You know, yeah, the subconscious is your entire body. So every cell of your body contains every memory, every experience you've ever had. So she doesn't have to talk about it. You don't have to talk about it. Just do creative things. And so, is she mobile with her cerebral palsy? Can she walk a little bit, or is she in a wheelchair?
Yes, yes,
She can
she
walk.
can walk. She can walk. Yes.
Okay, so one thing, and this again is from animal therapy, have her walk a figure-8 pattern if possible. Just, you know, put her on a diagonal and then turn around and come back. If you're out in a park or something where there's lots of space. So that will help with her brain function. And that could be for everyone. And I've heard it's very good for dogs. If dogs are upset or hyper or whatever, walk them in a figure-8 pattern. Okay, anybody else want to share?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, for someone who still has their numbers is the same, can you let me know who that is? Who's still feeling the same amount of tension or stress? Who wrote that? Who wrote down that it was the same? Let me look at the chat. Don't remember? Somebody wrote same, I saw that. Okay, so Nancy, you said same and lower. So one issue is the same, one is lower. You want to briefly tell us about it?
No, the issues or the aspects are the same. They're both lower.
Oh, okay. So what's the number now?
I was at 9 with one of them. I think I'm at about 6, and the other one I was at 7, and that's probably about a 5. So coming down nicely.
Okay, so would you mind saying what the higher number issue is? Just so I can work with you.
Sure, and I didn't switch my wording on this, but I'm looking for outlets for creative expression. So I've been feeling some real angst around that because I've been really challenged finding them, what works for me. And similar to what somebody else said in the chat, I have quite a lot of resistance often to doing art, but in a group, it's much better, I find. And
Mm,
I think there's maybe an aspect about permission there. I don't know.
okay.
But anyway, so that was my first one. It's just this because it's become really compelling, and there's like it feels like there's somewhat of a tsunami there that and different things that need to be expressed. So
Okay, let's work
anyway,
with that.
so my
Yeah,
yeah,
let
okay.
me work with that. So permission. Okay, so close your eyes and go back to the first memory you have of being told, no, you can't do that. You got it?
Mhm.
Who told you no?
My mom.
Okay. So just imagine you are in your mother's body and look through her eyes.
Mhm.
Do you understand why she said no?
Yeah, she thought I was going to hurt myself.
Hmm. Okay, so just be with that for a few minutes, a few seconds.
Mhm.
Okay, so it was love and protection that said no.
Mhm.
Okay, now be in your current adult body.
Okay.
And look down at yourself when your mother said no. And take yourself by the hand and walk towards the place that represents creativity for you. Where are you?
I am in a grassy field with all sorts of wild flowers, and it's just brilliant color and light. A place where you can dance, you can make things with flowers, you can commune with the clouds.
Very good. And what creative thing can you do there?
Primarily dance, and then and dream up ideas for things that I might draw later or paint later, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I knew you were going to say dance. I think this is what you need to do. Start with movement. So start with dance. Do that for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Just dance.
Yeah.
And then go to your artistic venue.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So basically give yourself permission and take your little self with you to play. Okay. Does anyone else want to share something? We haven't heard from Juliana and Anna, and Natasha. So whoever hasn't shared, please feel brave enough to share something. Has anybody's number shifted further now? When you tune in to what the issues were. Raise your hand if you'd like to speak. Natasha?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a filmmaker, and I'm in the process of rounding up funds for my feature, and it's been going up and down, and that's the new reality I'm looking for, like just something like a easiness, or being able to access my art, being able to do my art. And I keep finding blockage and challenges. And yeah, I'm wondering if there's any way to clear that out.
Okay, first of all, where are you located? I don't remember.
I'm in Dallas.
In Dallas, Texas. Okay, let's just
Mhm.
ask, is anyone here willing to fund a feature film? You can always ask, right? Normally what I do is I go up and I rename myself and I put my email address
Mhm.
beside my name so people can contact me. So you can do that. So somebody
Mhm.
might want to silently contact you later. So add in your email address beside your name. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you need support, right?
I
You're not,
do, but it's,
go ahead.
yeah. Oh, well, I just feel like it's probably an internal blockage, that says I'm not good enough, or, am I the right person for this? I know my project is great and all that, but there's always, questions.
Okay. Well, that comes with being an artist. I think we always think, am I good enough? Is this too big for me? Can I
Mhm.
deliver? Is it going to be good enough? That's normal. Okay. So you're not strange. You're not defective in your thinking. That just comes up with every artist, unless you're a narcissistic egomaniac, right? So, and you're probably not that. Okay, so having some insecurities is normal. You've got to work through them. So I would do
Mhm.
the clockwise swirls because they give you strength and courage. So over your heart, go clockwise, wherever you start, doesn't matter, just go clockwise, circle into quarter.
Mm.
Oh boy, see, that just released for me. Oh, I know, I start yawning. Oh. If you're ever with me and I'm annoying you, just do circles on my body and I'll pass out. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, but it's you know what? Out of habit, I went the wrong way. So clockwise for strengthening and courage. And it really helps to have post-it notes with positive messages everywhere. So what's on my laptop? Okay, it says my post-it note. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it, or is it backwards? Or I
I
breathe
can see it.
myself into presence where I feel safe, seen, and secure. That's what I wanted to feel. Okay, so I've got sticky notes everywhere. And so literally you have to change the writing on your wall. Okay, so
Yeah.
and they say the brain functions better with images. So this is why people do vision boards. So pick an image pick an image that you want to feel, but also you need to create an alter ego. So you're Natasha Morgan, filmmaker, but if you were the most successful filmmaker in the world, who would be your alter ego or your inner superhero? What do you think? Who inspires you? Who, even Beyonce? Beyonce doesn't go on stage until she becomes Sasha Fierce. That's her alter ego, who is able to go and perform in front of thousands of people. I recently found my alter ego, and I don't think it's anybody else's. I am Professor Minerva McGonagall, who is Maggie Smith's character in Harry Potter. So I'm not old, but she is the deputy headmistress of the School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And I want to have such magical powers. And she teaches transfiguration or transformation. So that is my goal, to help people transform and transfigure. And I just want to be, a quiet person who doesn't look like they have these huge powers, but I want to have them. I don't need to, be on the cover of anything and be glamorous. I want to be wise and stoic and powerful. So, and after I chose her, then I did a little research on the character, and it had her bio. So the Professor Minerva was born in Caithness, Scotland. That street that I ran up and down on with my Bugs Bunny running shoes was called Caithness Avenue. And Minerva is the Roman goddess of wisdom, equivalent to the Greek Athena. Well, my name is Sophia, that means wisdom. So I chose the right alter ego. And so, I step into her. I embody all her good qualities before doing something. So this is what you need to do. It'll really raise your energy. Can you think of somebody who would be your alter ego?
Yeah, probably Wonder Woman.
Okay. So what does she mean? What does she represent to you?
Just the strength and um, the fact that she can accomplish anything, and the confidence and the security of all.
Yeah. And her surprising
away.
powers, right?
Yes.
She can do anything dressed inappropriately. So
Yes.
she's not in her athletic wear, right?
No.
Okay, so you need to really work with that alter ego and find ways to embody it, and find ways to remind yourself of it, like maybe a ring, or the bracelets that she had, or Wonder Woman underwear, whatever you can find. And then you go and you do your fundraising and do the festival circuit and all that. And if you need a composer, you have Janelle here. Janelle is an amazing composer.
Yes. Is there a way to clear bad juju, related to financing? So
it's often, bless you, it's often embedded deeply, often, being stuck in a poverty consciousness or struggling, feast and famine. It's often generational. So if you look at your family history, and I mean, anybody who's in North America, we all came from peasants in Europe, most of us, right? I come from peasant stock. So there's going to be a lot of generational trauma, which I do clearing on. In the present moment, you can always use, the ball of silver light or clear light, and think, I'm clearing away everything that all the obstacles to wealth. You can program it that way. I'll talk more about what I can offer in a few minutes, but yeah, there is a lot you can do. So, but start with your alter ego, because that puts you in the present and it keeps you focused on the future, moving present forward. So that's the most important part. Okay, thank you. And anyone else? You're welcome. Anyone else have an idea, a thought to share? No? Okay, that was pretty good though. That was good. Okay. So is anyone surprised by the shifts they've had just by doing a few doodles? I mean, did you know that you had such control over your own healing and your consciousness? So even without working on the problem directly, for many of you, it's been resolved, right? Okay. So the conclusion is art heals. Focusing on a good memory, being present to somebody else's story, correcting our energy flow, it all causes the body to relax, to come into balance, and to then be able to heal itself. You cannot heal if you're stressed. It's not going to happen. Okay, so I hope you have written down the tools that I've given you. And we're going to do one more exercise. It's called problem and solution. So for those of you who had a variety of colors, look at the colors of markers you have and choose the lightest color you have. If you only have black, maybe you can just use a pencil or a blue pen or something. Okay, think about the number one issue in your life right now. What is your biggest problem? And think about the worst part of that problem. What part of that is most upsetting? So focusing on that, the most upsetting part of your biggest problem, put your pen in the middle of the paper and let it go any direction it wants to go. Just hold it securely enough to support it, but don't force anything, just doodle. I'll give you a couple minutes. Poor Dana, her cat wants to draw. Okay, so wrap that up. And now select another color that's much more vibrant than the first color you used. And tell yourself, this color holds the solution to your biggest problem. And give your subconscious mind permission to tell you the solution through the drawing. Hold the pen in your hand and do it on top of the first image. Okay, same paper. You can put your solution on it, beside it, around it. The answer is coming. And if you feel any discomfort in your brain, it's the feeling of creating new connections between your left and right hemispheres. So just be thrilled that this is happening. It means you'll be solving problems with your whole brain functioning. You don't show it yet. We're not done yet. We finish up that in a few seconds. Okay, now with your eyes shut, using your non-dominant hand, the hand you don't usually write with, don't even look at your pile of markers, just pick one with your eyes shut. And you're going to continue to draw the solution to your problem. So this will be your best solution. You can open your eyes and draw on the paper, on the same paper. Okay, this is your best solution yet. Okay. Anna, would you like to share what came up for you? We haven't heard from you.
Did you say Heather?
I said Anna,
Oh.
sitting beside Juliana. We haven't heard your brilliance and your wisdom. No? They're declining. Okay. Someone else? Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. Show us your picture and tell us briefly what it represents. I see a tower, a yellow tower with swirls. You have to unmute yourself. Oh, you can't right now. Okay. Does anybody else want to share? Pat, let's see what you drew. Lots of swirly energy. You want to talk? Maybe Pat's typing in the chat, I think. Patricia wrote, yes, it is amazing and easy, not judgmental. I don't know if that is related to this or not. Debbie can't talk. Okay, who can talk? Who can share and talk? Just briefly. We don't want a big story. We don't have that much time. But from Patricia, lots of moving lines, pathways, a true voyage of discovery. I have discovered that I need more markers. And my tablet's mic isn't working. Okay. Yes, get some art supplies. Get some good art supplies. I have spent way too much money on paper and pens and markers. So it's fun. Oh, Darby. Go ahead, Darby. What do we
So
have?
here's what it looks like.
Oh, wow.
And what is interesting for me is the initial was pink.
Mm-hmm.
So when you told us to put the problem, it was pink. And then the second part where you said the solution, it was purple.
Okay.
And then the third part where you said it's, absolutely like it's done, that was brown, where subconsciously we picked
Mm-hmm.
the color. The color was brown.
Okay.
And I'm feeling like it's the problem is resolved. It is resolved. It's just like maybe I'm in a waiting period, but I'm not sure about the color. Like I don't get the brown.
Well, brown
But
is a
I don't even know
strong
what
color.
brown means.
It's a strong color. It's earthy. So I would say it's a confident and final. And yeah, I think it's just connected to truth. So that's good. That was good progress. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Heather, did you want to share? Heather Lou?
Sure, my family's coming back, so I might get a little loud. That's what it ended up being.
Okay, greens and yellows. Is that what I'm seeing? Yes.
Yeah. The yellow was like the chaos of just everything coming in. And then it became kind of like a pathway or like an actual more defined line.
Yeah, and pretty. They're pretty lines. So your path is going to
Yeah.
be enjoyable.
Well, and green and growing, and just like intuitively I picked a teal to go along with the green. So it was, or less dominant hand. I don't know if that was intuitive, but yeah, it was interesting.
Okay. Well,
Took
you know
the
what it
chaos
really
and made it
means.
organized.
Yeah, you know what it really means. You know, in a couple of days, look at it again and you might have an insight. Lori, was that you putting your hand up?
Okay.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah, mine, the first color was this, all that light in the middle. And then the vibrant color was the So it was like confusion to compartmentalize. And then when I did the intuitive color, it's very, very close to the original color.
Yes.
So
Well,
I'm
it
not
looks
sure what that means.
well, it looks like you've
they're
gone
these two
from
colors.
you've gone from disorganization to organization.
Yeah, and it felt like just spacious
Yeah.
but it's like almost the same color
Somebody
from
wrote
what I
almost looks
started
like
with.
Debbie said it looks like a rosary. So perhaps it's your spiritual path. Okay, very good. Thanks for the shares.
It's about it's about purging things that I'm feeling resistant to part with. That's what it was about. And it was like I felt overwhelmed in my head. And then I'm like, you just got to do little piece, little piece, little piece, and it'll
Exactly. Organization. Yes. Good. Thank you. So I've enjoyed looking at all your art. It's very nice. So I just have to ask, how much would it be worth to you to have a reduction in pain or to gain clarity on your challenges, to integrate fragments of your soul, to get healthier? If I were to make you an offer, what do you think would be a fair price to help with that over a course of a year? Because what I'm offering is a 12-month coaching program where we do this once a month. And in between, I send you emails with exercises, and I have office hours every week where you can come and ask questions about the art or healing, so that there's a support and a community. And someone said they need to do art in groups. So this has been a sample. You know, we've kind of rushed through these exercises, but when we do them on a monthly basis, we'll go deeper on fewer exercises. So there's more time to get the clarity you need and to get the healing you need. So would you be offended if I made you an offer? No? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so if you stay right till the end, you get a second gift from me. So remember, the first gift is for sending me feedback by midnight tonight at my email address, and that's a surprise. And you'll get a second gift from me if you meet the criteria. Hold on. I'm a little parched. Okay. So I think some people here have gotten what they need today, and that's terrific. But most of you probably realize this kind of healing with art could help you in deeper and more profound ways. And I want to facilitate that healing experience for you. If you just need inspiration to continue making art, this will do it for you too. So to that end, I've created this program called Draw a New Reality. And as I said, it's a monthly class to have sessions like this, and we'll go deeper. And each month we'll have a theme or focus, such as relationships or boundaries or life transitions, things like that. And I'll get your feedback on what you need for that. So there will also be a membership area. Once I find out what your needs are, I'll create exercises and workbooks and things like that to further support you in your own time. So the class will be on the third Saturday of every month, same time as today, 11 to 1 Eastern. The Facebook office hours will be every Wednesday night from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. I mean, I could stay a little bit longer if needed, but 5 o'clock every Wednesday night. So I have decided to, I made a different offer to the first group, but I've improved the offer now. So you're getting the best one. So it's a one-time payment of $500 US for the entire year. And you get a bonus of one intuitive reading analysis, like a drawing analysis. You have one of your drawings, which I would charge $300 for, but that's your bonus. And if you stay till the end, which is coming up soon, I'll also give you the second gift, which is a half-hour private healing session with me, which costs $200. So the bonus is equal what it costs for the whole year. And the third gift is already built in. because when I looked at the list of registrants last night, I could tell by your phone numbers that a lot of you are in Canada. So I went ahead and reduced the price by $175 in order to help with the exchange rate. So that's why it's 500, not what it was before. So why am I doing this? Because I like associating with good people, especially other artists. Healing and learning are accelerated within a group, and the dynamic can be powerful. So don't deny yourself this opportunity. I've seen so many client stories I could tell you, but in the interest of time, I'm going to skip testimonials and just let you realize, what people have shared, how effective the exercises were, and the fact that it works. It works in a group. We don't have to be in the same room. It still works in a group on Zoom. You can get the transformation and the healing that you need. I'm also doing this because I love helping people and I'm not very motivated by money. Yesterday, my business mentor told me I was insane to not charge $15,000 for the year. And I said, well, this introductory price feels right for right now. Okay, so that's what it is. And I will tell you where to go to see the whole offer page. What is it? Offered? The offer page alone, took weeks, weeks to make. Oh my gosh, it's time consuming. Can you make smaller payments? You could, then it would be $50 a month. So you'll have to contact me for that. So it is cheaper to pay in advance if you can, and then it's done, because then it's administrative costs. I have to pay my assistant to take care of things. So have a look at the offer page and let me know if you have any questions or if something seems wacky. Oh, hello, Dana. You were reversed for a minute. What's the name of the last exercise? The last exercise is called Problem and Solution. So the program begins this month. So with the first Wednesday in the office hours. So that would be the first point of contact. I will send out the first exercise. So I'll send out the exercises on the 1st, the 10th, and the 20th of the month. So you'll get an email from me with some inspiration or a little art tip or a little healing tip or exercise, okay, whatever is needed. So what I would like is for people who are joining the program to let me know what they're hoping to get out of it. So then I will design exercises for you. Obviously, the more common issues we'll focus on first. But the other thing that I didn't mention is there's a phenomenon called borrowing benefits. And that's when you're just watching somebody else get a healing and you get it too. You're not even focused on yourself, but that happens all the time. And so even if I don't address your specific little niche need, you're still going to get a benefit by watching me work with somebody else, or just doing an exercise that's unrelated to your cause. It happens because, you know what? Because we're all connected. We're all connected. We're all on the matrix, right? We are one. So if one person is healed, everybody is healed. And I just really want to have a nice community. I think what I've noticed is a lot of adults are lonely, they're not having fun, and there's no joy in their lives. And when I started doodling, it brought me joy. Do you want to see some of my doodles? If you've seen my ads or my posts on Facebook, you've seen some of them. Let me show you a recent one. I need a name for this. Okay, so I found a pack of glitter pens that I forgot to give to my niece for her birthday. And so I found I'm enjoying glitter pens way more than a 53-year-old woman should. So they sparkle. They're so fun. There you go. That's one. I don't have a name for that. I'm open to hearing names. I'll show you another one. This one I call Toddler's Path Through the Park. So there's that. Okay, I see somebody asked something in the chat. That's more important. Let me see the chat. Could you share more about Wednesday Facebook? I have Wednesday services. Okay, so well, it'll just be a place for you to come and get my guidance if you're stuck on the exercise that I sent out the previous week, or if I'm willing to do, mini healings for you if you're feeling some kind of way that doesn't support you. So it's a Q&A basically, and I just wanted you to have more contact with me. I don't want you to feel like, oh, it's only once a month for 2 hours and I have questions. I don't want you to feel abandoned. I want you to feel like you are supported. So you'll get what you need. So here's another one. So these are just doodles, and when I start, I have no idea what it's going to be. I read a quote by Picasso that explained it perfectly. He said, you know what you'll draw when you start drawing, and that's it exactly. It's never premeditated. Half the time I drew things when I was feeling some strong emotion. Some of you might have seen my post about with this drawing. So this one, let me tell you, it started by me finding out that a really close friend had lied to me, and I felt so betrayed and angry. I just started scribbling in this magenta colored pen marker, like a fine tip marker. And then I noticed that some of the swirls were really interesting. So I highlighted them, like just by making them darker. And then I thought, wow, that's really pretty. I really like it. And then I filled in with more scribbling. So, this is an example of taking a really bad feeling and turning it into something pretty. And it gives me great joy to see this now. So I guess, there's a silver lining in everything. There's a blessing in everything. I have other friends. It's okay. So anyway, I've been loving doing it, and it really has given me so much pleasure. And I know it's inspired other people to start drawing and painting as well. So I like that. Being, inspirational is always a good thing. Okay, let me check the chat again. Tanya says, I have to go. I will email you by midnight. Thank you. Thanks for your generous sharing. You're welcome. The group size, what am I envisioning? Well, knowing how not everybody can always show up, like I'm not putting a limit on it because things come up. There will be recordings. You'll always get the recording. So if you do miss the class live, you'll get that. And you know what? I'll record the office hours as well. So they'll be in the group, and then you can have access to that. Okay. And Patricia says, thank you. And thank you to everyone for sharing. Yes, you've been a really great group. Very soulful, wonderful people. Thanks, Isabel. So at the very least, go out and get some nice markers and some good paper and continue. Any questions about the program? No, anybody want to say anything? When are the office hours? Yeah, it'll be on Facebook. It'll be in the Facebook
I just
group.
want to say thank you.
Oh, you're
This
welcome.
has been a really great session.
So glad
I
you liked
was I came this morning because I was thinking about I love the idea of the artist's way to help unblock creativity,
Mhm.
except that because it uses words, it doesn't really work for me. So yeah, you've given me a lot to think about in terms of how to make doodling more mindful as I sort of start to use art instead of words.
Excellent. Yes, I did the artist way as well. It was a 2 to 3 hour commitment per day, as I was doing it. So it's a lot of work. It's very, very useful, but this is easier, right? This is easy. And I think it's fun to do it in a group as well. It's very nice to have you. Yeah. Anyone else want to say anything? No. Okay.
Just
Last
thank
chance.
you. And this is kind of, I'm sorry, were you talking?
No, so I don't know who's speaking. I can't tell.
Oh, Heather, Lou. I was just saying thank you. It's like a universal language and a way of getting to everybody. So I just appreciate you taking the time and sharing it with us.
You're very welcome. Nice having you. You can do it with your kids if they have a problem. Yeah, the whole right hand, dominant, non-dominant hand is very useful for solving problems. Some people do it by automatic writing, but I think, it can be so hard to write with your non-dominant hand. It really slows down the process. So the doodling, you know what you mean when you draw it and interpret it. So I think it works even better. Thank you for being here, Heather Lou. Darby, you're unmuted. Did you want to say something?
Yes, thank you so much, Sophia. This has been so insightful. And even just the last part you mentioned about going over some of your swirls, I looked at mine again and I saw that they're figure eights. So I'm imagining that somehow that has something to do with the infinite.
Yes, with the infinite
Thank
and
you
with,
so much.
yeah, with your energy crossing over as well. You might need that. Yeah. Okay, so please
Okay.
send me some, detailed feedback about how this helped or how you think it could be better. I'm open to that, and that's really useful. Okay.
I will do that. Thank you. Also, on your office hours, you said there's office hours with the program. How is that? How does that work? Is that on Facebook?
Yes. Are you on Facebook?
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a
I am,
Facebook.
but
A private Facebook
I
group.
just don't have I don't have availability to do Facebook on that day.
Okay, well, I will record the Facebook hours so that you'll get it. The most important thing will be getting the emails that I'll send with the exercises. So the Facebook hours are just in case you had trouble with the exercise or you want to go further, you want suggestions, things like that. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Isabel,
thank you.
you're showing us your boobs. Isabel, you're funny. All right. Okay.
Could you, Sophia, could you just go over the exercises again, the titles of them, so that I make sure I've got each one right for your feedback?
Yeah, sure. So the first one was tracing hands. And what was number 2? Doodle your feeling was number 2. Number 3 was healing swirls. Number 4 is figure eights. Number 5 was happy story. Number 6 was silent story. Number 7 was problem and solution.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Not very creative titles, but they're descriptive. So,
Yes,
yeah,
great.
thank you so
In
much.
the review, sorry, in the review, are you planning on having that in like kind of like a structure like that? Or you said you were going to do a fewer amounts? Like, do you want us to hit which ones really resonated with us or kind of sell the whole?
Oh, so
all
for the
steps all
feedback,
at once?
I just want your honest opinion, how it was, and I might
Like
make it a
which ones
testimonial.
resonated with us?
Not only, but
Okay.
even if you didn't like something, let me know. Yeah, and then I might
Okay.
take phrases. I might take phrases and use them as a little testimonial.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I just needed to know how you were going to use it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not going to use names. I'll just use a sentence or two.
Okay.
'Cause that's what I have on the sales page as well, just a little pair of little lines. Yeah, I just really
Thank you.
want your honest opinion. So I would appreciate that. I was going to say something, but now it's escaped my mind. I don't know. But I think it'd be great to have like an art showing one day of everybody's really, favorite doodles. So wouldn't that be nice to have healing artwork? Maybe we can make a calendar or something. Anyway, I have some dreams and ideas. First, I got to get this thing started. Okay. So it's 1:15. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very much for participating, showing up. And I wish you happy doodles and great health and deep joy. Bye-bye. Oh, first I'm going to save the chat so I can see what I missed.